Not long ago, French was the most important language in the world. It was the language of science, diplomacy, high society. Even in Russia, the elite spoke French fluently. If you wanted to become someone in the world, you had to speak French. So what happened? How did French lose its global throne to English? Let's break it down together, because honestly, it's pretty fascinating. For centuries, French wasn't just a language. It was the language of the elite. It was spoken in European courts, used in treaties, and it was the worldwide language of diplomacy. But why? Because France was one of the most powerful nations, both politically and culturally. The prestige of its monarchy, its thinkers, its literature, Voltaire, Rousseau, Descartes, made French the language of sophistication and intellect. In fact, Russian aristocrats in the 18th and 19th centuries spoke more French than Russian. And let's not forget the Treaty of Versailles, one of the most important treaties in modern history, was written in French. So if French was ruling the world, why did English take over? Here's the thing. Language follows power. And in the 19th century, power started shifting. While France was making its mark on culture, Britain was building the largest empire in history. It wasn't just about aristocrats anymore. It was about industry, global trade, and expansion. At its peak, the British Empire controlled nearly a quarter of the world. And guess what they spread? English. The British weren't just conquering lands. They were setting up schools, administrations, and trade networks, all in English. It became the language of opportunity, of business, and of law. The more the British Empire expanded, the more people had to speak English to keep up. But even then, French still had a stronghold. What really sealed the deal for English? The rise of the United States. After World War II, the United States became the world's dominant economic and cultural powerhouse. Think about it. America brought us Hollywood, pop music, tech giants like Microsoft and Apple, even the United Nations, where English became the main working language. And then came the internet. And guess what? The vast majority of the first internet sites, all in English. So, was there a chance for French to fight back? Maybe, but French has a lot of challenges that English does not. First, French is harder to learn. The pronunciation, the gendered nouns, it's not exactly beginner-friendly. Second, English adapts like crazy. It absorbs other words from languages like a sponge. French, however, not so much. The Académie Française, the official guardian of all things French language, often fights against English influences rather than embracing them. And third, English became the default language for business, science, and tech. If you want to work internationally, what language do you need? English. If you want to publish a scientific paper that the world will read, English. Even pilots, no matter where they're from, must communicate in English. At some point, French just couldn't compete with the reach and flexibility of English. Now, before we say game over for French, let's not forget, it's still hugely important. It's spoken by over 300 million people worldwide, and it's one of the main languages spoken in the European Union. While it currently ranks as the 5th most spoken language in the world, some projections show that by 2050, that number could reach 750 million people, thanks largely to the increase in demographic in French-speaking African countries. So while English may be more widely spoken now, French still holds its cultural prestige. Think luxury brands, fine dining, literature, diplomacy. French still carries its weight. But will it ever dethrone English again? Well, that's a tougher battle. So what do you think? Did English take over because of politics, economy, or just pure luck? Do you think French or any other language could ever replace English in the future? Let's talk about it in the comments. And hey, if you like this kind of deep dive into language and history, like and subscribe for more. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
If you learned something new from this video, give it a thumbs up. Then, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Have a look around our channel for more hacks and tips. And if you're watching on another social media platform, like or follow our page. See you next time.